Now you're playing with power. Superpower. I always love the shit out of that commercial. But rejoice, gamers, 90s kids and nostalgia tards, the world round on this spinning little bullshit mudball we call home. Nintendo unveiled the thing that we all knew damn well was going to happen, and that is the Super Nintendo Classic. Yes, we're getting ourselves a little SNES Mini to accompany the NES Classic. This was something that we already knew after the monumental success that was the NES Classic. This was going to be Nintendo's follow-through, and sure as shit, it ended up dropping with a bevy of games talking top-tier motherfucking classics that made this bitch into the household name that was the 16-bit powerhouse, and still to this day, my favorite Nintendo system of all time. Don't shoot the messenger, we all got our motherfucking preferences. Though I am going to just get this out of the way, I fucking hope that they make enough of these. Because the NES Classic, that shit is still being flipped on eBay for a bunch more money than that shit went for initially when it was on retail shelves, and plenty of fans still don't have one in their home to be able to enjoy, and I always thought that kind of sucked. And you can hear off in the distance fucking resellers just revving their eBay engines, and it's purring like a kid. Meanwhile, our wallets are purring like a dying cancer patient on their fucking deathbed, just mourning the loss of, oh, my nostalgia, I can't enjoy it. Granted, I know most people are like, the Raspberry Pi, emulation, original cars. Just shut the fuck up. We're talking about these products right here. We already fucking know. We get the point. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Now, let's talk about the games, because that's the most important part about this, and this was the shit that got me all hyped. Especially one game. But let's go through the list of games that they have included on the Super Nintendo Classic. This should come to a surprise to anybody, Super Mario World, though to be honest, I wish this was the bundle pack of Super Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars, because All-Stars was one of the most important games to the Super Nintendo library, at least in my opinion. Granted, you know, we had Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and all that shit on the NES Classic, but I like this one, plus I had Lost Worlds, aka the original Super Mario 2, but still, regardless, we're starting off on a high note, Super Mario World. You follow up with Super Mario Kart, the game that made the entire kart racing genre. Super Mario Kart, of course you're going to have the genre, you'd be insane not to. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Arguably one of the best Legend of Zeldas. You know, Breath of the Wild came out and pretty much ended up taking that fucking throne, but I've always considered A Link to the Past to be one of the best entries within the series, and that kind of says a lot. I was born to race, it's motherfucking F-Zero! This is Captain Falcon's first foray into the gaming world, and I just hope Nintendo remembers that they actually own this franchise. I know it's included on here, don't get me wrong, I'm happy as fuck. I just want Nintendo to remember this shit, maybe hand off the reins to Sega again so they can do a follow-up to F-Zero GX. I'm just saying, we kind of need that shit, because F-Zero GX and AX were just fucking amazing, but F-Zero, we should be happy. Super Metroid! After back-to-back announcements that we were getting new Metroid games, seeing this on here was a no-brainer, and it's one of the best Super Nintendo games, so that says a lot. Plus, I've always considered this and Metroid Fusion and the first Metroid Prime, those are like my creme de la creme when it comes to the entire Metroid franchise. I love the shit out of this one, just, it's so good. Like, it's dark, it's atmospheric, it's fucking spooky and scary. For a 16-bit game, that says a lot. Plus, we don't get enough good-ass sci-fi games, and this is one of the best. It really is. It's, I mean, you should be expecting it. It's fucking Super Metroid. Now to rattle off the rest of the list, we have Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Punch-Up, Super Castlevania 4, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, Kirby Superstar, Final Fantasy 3, Kirby's Dream Course, Star Fox, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Contra 3, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. But wait, if you act now, we will throw in, absolutely free of charge, the much beloved, much played via emulation, much touted and talked about unreleased Star Fox 2. Yes, folks, you can be a part of gaming history as you get your hands on the official release of Star Fox 2 straight from the hands of Nintendo. You can go off into the ship, you can fly around in an R-Wing with Fox McCloud, you can go into all the other ships like that crazy legged one, shoot some shit up, and see the worst looking polygonal graphics, but to be honest, truthfully, this game is fucking amazing. I played this shit via emulation like everybody else out there, because how else were you gonna fucking experience it? But the last and latest build that they had of it, I played the fucking hell out of it. Play it on harder modes, by the way, or else you're only getting like a very small portion of the game. But it was fucking incredible. The idea that we didn't get this shit, and I know that Star Fox 64 ended up incorporating a lot of things from it, and they didn't want to go and compete with themselves, but I always thought, why the fuck don't they release that? I've even said it in past videos, numerous times. Why can't they just re-release this shit into the Virtual Console? They are! But on here. So technically it's like a physical version of it, just fuck you, let me go and pretend here. Holy shit. We are getting Star Fox 2. We're officially getting Star Fox 2. We don't need to go and mod the fucking game and put the ROM onto the shit, and you already know that this thing's gonna be modded within like the first fucking week. I called that shit with the NES Mini, you know damn well it's gonna happen with this. Unless they put in like some crazy ass protection with it. I never thought about that. But still, Star Fox 2. That shit's amazing. Like, just smiles for miles. You have no idea. And seeing the artwork for Fox and Crow, it's just like, oh, it makes me so fucking happy. Like, I loved the shit out of that. I just enjoyed it so much, and to see that, dude, that's the cherry on top of an already very delicious 16-bit sundae. But despite the fact that this is very joyous, there was a couple things that I wanted to go and make note of. I personally would have included Chrono Trigger onto this list. I'm just saying, Square Enix is showing some love on here, aka back in the day, Squaresoft. We are getting Final Fantasy 3 and Secret of Mana, though I would like to see Final Fantasy 2 on there. And I just think that Chrono Trigger is like one of the most pivotal games in their entire library in terms of just recognizing them for the role-playing game-creating beasts that they are. Because when they developed that shit, holy fuck, it was amazing. And Kirby's Dream Course, I would swap that out and put in Kirby's Dream Land 3. I just think that would make a lot more sense. You know, they have Kirby Superstar and shit, and that's all fine and good, but I'd happily go and take that, put in Chrono Trigger, and then swap out Dream Course for Dreamland 3. Just make a lot more sense to me, but all in all, it's kind of hard to argue with this library. I mean, I would love to see some shit like Turtles in Time, because it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Turtles in Time, one of the best fucking beat-em-ups, one of the best licensed games, one of the best games from Konami back in the day, but at the least, we are getting Contra 3 and Super Castlevania 4. You know, the company's doing fuck all right now in terms of actual releases and game development and stuff, but these are the reasons why we love them so much. And Capcom giving us Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which, you know, if you're going to play a version of Street Fighter 2, just get on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's like one of the best fucking versions of the game released to date, especially in physical form. But Turbo, the amount of hours motherfuckers put in on that shit is absolutely fucking astronomical and fucking ridiculous. I mean, that shit is still tournament worthy even today, after all these fucking years. But this is going to be coming out at 80 bucks. So $80, and figure that out wherever the fuck you're at in the world. If you're off in the fucking PAL regions, you're off in Australia and shit. If you're in Australia, they're probably gonna make you pay like $3,000 fucking dollars or some shit. Why do they do that, by the way? That shit drives me fucking insane. I'm like, why is everybody in Australia paying like $1 million for things? Like, you need to take out, like, a home loan every time that you want to go and buy a game and shit. Just no fucking sense at all. And I'm gonna admit something. I'm still fucking jealous of the fact that the Super Famicom still looks a million times better. Like, when I look at the Super Nintendo Classic and shit, I was just like, man, so much nostalgia there. I still remember getting that system, melding in All-Stars and having 2 games. Technically 5 games when you think about it. I was just like, love that, because I had that in Super Mario World, I had all these games, I was just like, I'm playing the fuck out of these. I got so many other games, we'll take it over to friends' houses, enjoy it. But that controller is ugly as fuck looking with that color scheme. Super Nintendo controller is one of the best controllers, but no, we needed the red, blue, green, and yellow scheme of the Super Famicom. Plus the Famicom logo, way better than ours, and the Famicom itself, the system itself, looks a million times better. I know this is all aesthetic preferences and all that shit, but I'm just saying, it's fucking ugly. Like, by comparison, just blah. Anyway, I don't know if the Japanese version of this is going to be any different, and I don't know if the PAL regions one is going to be different in terms of what titles are going to be released on it. I imagine in Japan that they will have different games on there, because, you know, certain things ended up becoming breakout success stories there. Like, I can imagine that they'll probably have, like, a Dragon Quest game on there. That's why I imagine happening, because we kind of got skipped on the whole deal until they decided to go and remake them in handheld form, which was nice as fucking long overdue. But all of this stuff, I mean, Final Fantasy VI is on there, and that I was kind of astounded by. I was just like, oh my god. And this shit's coming with 2 controllers, so you can actually play 2-player Secret of Mana. Do you realize how fucking happy that makes me? I'm kind of curious if they'll end up doing some kind of multi-tap deal, because I would like that a whole lot, just so that you can play proper 3-player Secret of Mana. If they can do it, that'd be awesome. If they can't, then, you know, it fucking happens. But, I mean, they've got all the best of the best games on there. Yeah, and there's a lot of 2-player games on there. I mean, you can't have Street Fighter 2 Turbo without a secondary controller, and the amount of people that weren't able to get their hands on the additional controllers for the NES Classic is fucking insane. Not nearly as insane as the people that just couldn't get their fucking hands on it, but still, I'm just hoping, Nintendo, please learn your lesson from this shit. Make a fucking ton of and then release it. So, September 29th, we'll see this show on store shelves, but again, I can imagine that there's going to be so many showing up on eBay on day one. I'm talking within 24 hours, eBay flooded to the fucking brim. You'll see shit on fucking Craigslist. You'll see it in all sorts of Facebook game trading and selling groups. It's going to be insane. I mean, I still see the NES Classic being traded and sold for so fucking much. It's heartbreaking, it is. I kind of want them to do a revision of it, maybe re-release it, maybe with some more games on it. Still waiting for River City Ransom to be on that bitch. They had it in Japan, damn it! They had it in Japan! Damn you! But we are getting more River City Ransom games, or games in the River City Ransom universe. Regardless though, this is all good news. I mean, $80 is still kind of steep for some folks out there who'll be like, yeah, but I could just get all this shit for free. I could go and create a Raspberry Pi for way cheaper than this shit. And motherfuckers aren't lying. I mean, it's really the truth. And I've got all these games. Like, I literally own all these games. Except for Contra 3. Okay, I don't own all those games. Don't have Contra 3. I will get Contra 3 at some point. I just, you know, I don't always have everything I want, damn it. But this is just, it's fucking incredible. It brings a tear to my Super Effects chip loving having eyes. And my baby blues, while tears are welled up in it, I can't wait for this stuff to come out. So, opinions, thoughts, feelings, don't give a shit about stuff like this because you already have the games. Don't want to go and deal with all this fucking crap because you know the resellers are going to be there. Do you think Nintendo is going to underperform when it comes to creating these physically and putting them out there? Or do you think Nintendo is going to be tried and true and put plenty out there? I hope that it lasts longer, by the way. Like, the NES Classic seemed to only be in production for a certain amount of time, then that shit was cut off, and it seemed way shorter than it should have been, and I'm just like, what about this? Like, what about this? And this is a much bigger deal because you're getting an officially released Star Fox 2 from Nintendo. Like, that's one of the biggest fucking deals about this. Oh man, but it will be nice to be holding brand spanking new Super Nintendo controllers again, because I will say that that is one of the best controllers in all of gaming. Strap some analog sticks to that shit, add some handles. Guess what? Now all of a sudden you've got a PlayStation controller. It's one of the reasons why I love that design. It's comfortable, the entire fucking thing. But anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.